Hello, what? Wawa.
Rewind.
Stop. Stop. I've already dabbing my nose from Noel making me laugh. Hello, welcome to Awakening with Soulspirational. My name is Tish, and today we welcome you back to another edition of Soulful Sunday. So as you look around, I'm sure you will remember the people sitting here today. I'm so grateful for you guys being here. So today we are going to talk about oneness, whether it be in the spiritual term or physically, however the conversation happens to progress. So I want to kind of watch my parameters here. Sometimes I'll do meditation where we see that divine light above us and everybody's pulling down their stream of light during the meditation. When we're doing that, it reminds me that each and every one of us are connected. And just talking about humans, let alone all the animals on the earth. So there's some 7+ billion people. We have somebody off camera, so if you see me looking that way, the 7+ billion people on Earth, that each and every one of us are connected. And there are times where I feel that if somebody in Boise is hurting, then on some level, I'm hurting. If somebody is joyous, I don't know, somewhere in Africa, a little piece of me is also joyous. Now granted, it's like these little fragments because each and every one of us are a fragment of that divine source. So each of us have that light streaming through, but we're also resonating or vibrating that light upward to source, which then can resonate down and out. So even though it may be just this small little portion, I just like to stop and think about that type of connection, because I think sometimes we get into like othering other people, other groups, and I think that when we recognize that each and every one of us, if we look for the divine light within each and every one of us, as opposed to what the person looks like, that we really, it's kind of like the namaste. I recognize the divine light. The light within me recognizes the light within you. And I think that it can actually pull us together, whether it's in our small community or whether we're talking about globally. So I think that when we take the time to think about our words or our actions that we may project upon other people, that we are also projecting them upon ourselves. Just to be aware of that divine connection. And I think too, when we see that, at least it is for me, that God knows I'm not perfect. But when I spend the time in groups like this, in the space of love and community, that as the vibration within my soul raises, I feel like in this space I get to honor God with that higher vibration. And when I am in this space with you guys, it's absolutely incredible. And I could not imagine looking at somebody and thinking less of them, or being in a place of othering because I'm so filled with love within this space. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of open up the floor and see what y'all think about oneness.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were talking about somebody that they used the word hate. Okay. So I was mentioning somebody that I dislike. I mean, even though I am awakened, I am very spiritual, I still have my feelings about other people. But I told her, I said, well, you know what? That works for you, but I'm not allowed to hate nobody. And she goes, why is that? I said, well, it's on a personal level. but it's about what we're talking about. If you hate somebody, that brings you down, and it's a form of self-hate for yourself, I think. And I'm not saying you have to feel guilty about it if you don't like somebody. What I'm saying is if you really think about it, if we're all one, all around the planet, we're all with that same source energy. For me personally, I can intensely dislike somebody.
Yeah, hate is a very
Hate
strong
is
emotion.
very strong.
And that's, growing up we weren't allowed to use that word.
Yeah, we snuck around and did it anyway, didn't we?
That was pretty good. I may hate a certain type of food, or I would say that. But I would catch myself if I would say that I hated somebody, if I'm in high school or something. And try to remind myself, even younger, that, it's a great disdain maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nuance and there's a difference. And I wasn't awakened then to even realize, but just kind of hearing Dad, that it was just... Plus, when I think when we can say to somebody that I hate this person, we're actually giving our power away, because that is such a huge, strong...
Yes, it is.
Emotion, where when you can step back and realize that you're just on a different path. For people that may not be my favorite people to hang around, maybe our energies are just off, I still send them emotional wellness and love and healing. But that's
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying I don't struggle with it, but I'm just saying I can't let that get in my way.
Well, you're conscious of it.
Yeah.
And I swear that's a good portion of the battle.
Yeah.
All right, how about we do this?
Okay.
If it is true that as spiritual people, as all people, we are experiencing God through ourselves, and He is experiencing Himself, he, she, whatever, through us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at it this way, that way we don't get mad at ourselves if we use the word hate, or we don't see it as something so negative, or even to dislike, right? So as we're going through life, and we're in the grocery store of life, and we're picking and choosing who we are and what we want to experience, right, as a part of God, the one, love, it's all interchangeable, right? So you're picking and choosing all these things you want to be. I truly believe you meet who you are. Okay, so you're sitting there with this woman, and say she says something, and I can't remember how your story went together, but and she says, oh, I'm this or I'm that. Let's just say she did that, okay? And your feeling goes to, I hate that, or I dislike that. How about going, what about that? Before you even say anything, evaluate it. So what about her statement, or what she did, or what she doesn't like, don't you like? And can you place that within yourself and say, that's really a part of me I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I fix that? You encounter who you are.
Yeah, right.
Because we're one.
It's amazing you said that, because that's the first thing I thought about. It's like when she said that she hated this person, I thought, because before my awakening, I found a way to hate people.
Because you hate it because that's what you are.
Yeah.
And if you are truly spiritual and you believe that God is in you and in everybody and everything, that's God going, look how much better you can be. This is what you look like when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Ever hear someone screaming on the corner, screaming in traffic, you're like, ugh, and then you go, oh my God.
I do that too.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah. So we fix that right away. We try to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessary to judge the moment, but improve upon yourself. And guess what? That has a ripple effect, and it just goes out and goes out. Go into a room where everybody's acting this way, doing that, and just what's that word? Radiate peace, or radiate. Be the peace you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
that's
yeah.
that. you know.
Yep.
And it grows from there, and it ripples out, and everybody, oh, so then they like when you come to things, you know. You always have the idiots that try to run you over, try to, you know, plow you over, but you still have to stand on that. And it doesn't feel any worse to you, you're just being this, you know, and they can't, they turn that into hate for you, so they have to fix that within themselves.
Absolutely.
That's what my head just goes, that's it, fix it. That's what you want to look like that? It's frightening, it's frightening. It's frightening to look in the
It's a
mirror.
great perspective.
Yeah, the mirror hurts.
Yeah, it does. That's why a lot of people don't really look into it, do they?
No, they can't, for more than 30 seconds, they say, 30 seconds. You know, I have a big
Yeah.
psych background, 30 seconds, people can't look at themselves in the eye in the mirror and hold it. You know, and right away, if you do that, if you test that principle and look in that mirror, your heart will start to go. Almost like, you know, you just start to feel a lot of things because you can't look at yourself without seeing all these maybe bad things you think you did, or, you know, feeling
All the
sorry for
judgments,
yourself,
yeah.
victimizing, and so you got to fix all that, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. Fix it.
Fix it.
It's not hard.
Work at it. It's, you know what, it's part of the evolution.
Yeah.
And I think that the more that we grow and that we evolve and we can see the mirrors that come to us so that we can self-reflect
Yeah.
and say, wow, you know what, I do that too and I don't like that behavior. So you know what, I'm going to correct that because it isn't so, yeah. And then hopefully too, when we go through that evolution, that growing, the learning, then we can have more compassion for those for what we just went through, those that are still there, that may be stuck, or they just haven't realized it for themselves yet, that it's time for them to evolve. But to have that compassion that, you know what, I know what it's like to be there, and that's a really sucky place to be. So I'm not going to judge them. At some point, you know, they're going to see it for themselves, they're going to realize it, and then they too will come around. And that is beautiful too, because it helps to take the personalization off of it. When you've come from a place and you truly have evolved or healed, to depersonalize it just by knowing that, you know, I've already been there. You know, you can remove yourself from being around people that bring you down or lower your vibration, but yeah, it doesn't hurt
It
much.
seems some people really enjoy the disconnect, though. They call it a disconnect because they're not aware. They're not awakened to the fact that we all are one. We all come from the same source. We all, no matter whether you're white, black, blue, purple, green, we're all the same. And some people just seem to really enjoy that disconnect. And you try to talk to them about it, and you don't want to feel like you're forcing your opinion on them, which I don't like that either. But it just seems they really like being in that space, and there's a lot of work to do out there.
And that's just it, and that's about them.
They enjoy being the victim.
Yeah.
The same
Yeah.
people that enjoy that. You know?
They, a lot of people like that, makes them feel better about themselves. So, you know, they'll put everyone down, or your opinion doesn't matter, or your, people will go as far as to the less than human thing, you know, and they'll click together and do that to people, you know, and it gives them a sense of power in their lives. And have you ever broken one of these people down and sat down and talked to them for 5 minutes? They're the weakest human beings. They really are. Their lives are just crashing all around them. And you can bring them to full tears doing that, you know. And
That's why they seek the power.
yeah,
Because they feel so
need it.
powerless.
And they feel everybody else around them will fall into that because they keep playing the same game that worked for them their whole lives. You know, and when you don't play the game with them, they get angrier
Yes, they
and
do.
angrier, you know. So that, even the anger will give them power, you know. And it's just, once they see, then someone else will come along, and once they see they can't beat you, you know, just because you're being who you are, you know, they'll fall in onto the next person that shows up, and it's brutal to do that to somebody, so that would be the person I would go to first and befriend, because if you are a powerful spiritual person, you just have it. No one's taking that from you. Boy, can you take the strength out of people who are false, You can really, you could really make them take a look at themselves. So in a way, it's okay to put people in their place, and I don't mean verbally or whatever, but just you do it through just being who you are and projecting that,
Right.
Sometimes some people come to the room to receive, like I come here, right? Is there something I'm learning from you? Absolutely. From you? Absolutely. From you? Yes. From you? Yes. Everybody here is learning. We're all bouncing. And if you look at it that way, as opposed to people going, well, she's this, or that's where it falls apart. The foundation crumbles. So to keep the foundation strong, it has to come with a good attitude, and it has to come with strength. And that's it. That's it.
And you know what? We, each of us, are so much better for that as well, whether it's a self-reflection, something's being mirrored back at us. If somebody is in a group where maybe some things were said, it makes me think like I am a better teacher because I take into consideration whether somebody just comes in here once, they say or do something, they walk out, it's like, oh, if nothing else, they brought another perspective to the table where I can be more considerate or more open-minded about, okay, not everybody is chugging along, we're on the same path here, people are coming in different areas, different places, but it just helps me be a better person, a better teacher when some form of adversity comes up. They're life learning lessons. And I think with this shift, this shift of consciousness, that we get to spread that light and that love and the when you were talking about as being a strong spiritual person, you can't tear that down because you know who you are and the strength that comes with that. And I think that there are some people that admire that, even though in the moment they may resist it. But at some point, even if you've planted a seed, or if you were able to actually break through something with that person, all of it, I think we're just taking these collective steps towards that unity, towards that oneness. We all hurt. We all have our own story. And that is actually one of the things I wanted to bring up to you now that I said that. Each and every one of us has our own story. We can get caught up in, oh, woe is me, and the life that I've had. But there's always going to be somebody who has it worse. However, it doesn't mean that we don't take time for our own healing and grieving, or whatever that is for us. It doesn't mean to take away from what our own experiences have been. However, I think if we could look at each other, and I don't even have to know your story in order to appreciate and to love you for what you've brought into my world. It can just bring us to this place of compassion, a deeper compassion for one another, that we don't have to know the story, that everybody has lived something. I think sometimes, and I know before my awakening, it was everybody's had it better than I have. Oh, they've never had any trouble in life growing up. What do they know? That cynicism and the oh, woe is me. We have all experienced heartache and pain because we're human beings. It's part of what we get to go through for the vast majority of us anyway here. And once again, I think just the more we reach out and the collective love.
That's nice, because that's like looking back at all your nonsense, you know, your suitcase of nonsense, and unpacking it and being able to know that you went through all that just to help the next best person.
Yes.
Because you just go through it. It's like the emotional Rolodex, right? That's what I was telling her about. You go into it, pick out your card and go, I've been there. What can I give to that person? And the gifts you give, you know, are just incredible. And you have to look at it that way. And then those experiences become gifts.
Yeah, they do.
So that's how you see every bit of nonsense in your life being a blessing. It's all blessings. It really is.
Even the people you hate or
Yes.
hated. I look back at everybody I hated at one time, and I blame them for my situation or something that happened to me. And while they may have had a strong role in it, I myself was responsible for the situation in itself. So, and that's where your growth comes in. You know, you can't really hate people unless they, I mean, I'm
Really
sure I could
work
see
at
if
it,
somebody
John.
killed a family member or, you know, killed a family member of mine, sure. I probably would hate them, at least immediately. You know, I didn't really have to work on that, but it's your personal growth, you know.
Yeah, God forbid that we'd ever have to experience something like that, but, yeah. And, you know, taking responsibility, I can't help but think too, you know, as I see the streams of light for the billions of people on earth, that when we take the time to take responsibility for our own actions and words, that's when we really have a better opportunity for change. And as we start to take responsibility, as we start to evolve, to grow, it's like that light just, even though the light's the same, I see it as the same with everybody, it feels dull to us because of all of our stuff. And then we can start feeling that internal light getting brighter and brighter. And to me, it's just like we're increasing that source energy that much more when we come back home to take the responsibility, to feel the love for one another.
Yeah, it's important. It is, because instead of, you could go out and go, she's acting like this today, or my boss this, that, you know, and after you're done blaming everyone else and you got your headache and you're all, you know, you finally go, boy, I feel crappy today. You know, did you do that? What you put out there, you're getting back, right? Do unto others, you know, and that's where the oneness comes in. So if you're putting that out, we're all one, it's coming back, you know, maybe in a day, you know, next
Maybe
week.
5 years.
5 years. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, you just, you know, some days you're just not up to it. So you can't be mad at yourself if you're just, how about waking up and going, oh, you know what, I just feel crappy today. I just don't feel right, you know.
But at least
So,
that's honest.
yeah, and you do feel better from that point. Because right away you notice it and you change it, you know.
I'll flick a guy off on the freeway or something. You know, now I'm like, oh, what did I do that for? You know.
Especially when they chase you.
Right.
You would be the chaser.
Oh, yeah. I'll follow you all the way home.
You
That's
will.
what I think.
And I'm always like, what did you do that for?
I'll do that beat in a hurry, but I won't flip them off. But sometimes I feel myself getting very impatient. And then I think back to those really snowy days where I am doing 5-7 miles an hour in my car, and I just look in my rearview mirror and go, you can go around me, you can go around me.
You are not alone on that. believe me.
So it's like, you know what, I've had to ask other people energetically to be patient for me.
Yeah.
So I need to just be patient, and it could be I'm avoiding an accident or whatever, you know, something fresh to the produce is about to be put out there for me. You know, so I just have to trust in the prospect. And that's just it. When we just trust the process.
Yeah.
You know, we trust what's coming in, that it's all divine. It leads us in, when we can have these experiences, when we can turn around and say the emotional Rolodex, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Because, and it's like, God, if I've had to experience what I've experienced, it's worth it.
Yeah.
it's worth it because I have, from victimhood to survivordom, or whatever you call it, and transcending that to those are experiences that I've had, so I can help my children, and so I can help other people,
And the
and I'm
people-
grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually grateful, like you said, grateful and appreciative of those bad experiences.
And some people have looked at me like, and it's like, no, I am truly, it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean that I would want to go back necessarily to repeat this stuff, but since it has happened, then,
You've grown.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the moment, in the moment something's happening, you just react, That's it, it's a reaction, And then from that point, when you think about it a little, what did I do? You start to proact,
hopefully.
how can I change that? Yeah, if you're always, but we're not always all thinking that way. How many times you look back and go, God, I should have said this, or I should have said that, and, or well, how come I didn't see that in that person, or how come, and gee, it takes a fun on everything when you know everything.
Right.
And the other thing, that's why we're not supposed to know everything.
Yeah, and you don't learn from it, or you don't experience from it.
I'm a guy, I said that.
Yeah.
And I knew he was gonna say it.
I knew it. So with that, as we're going to close down the episode, I can say for myself that I am so grateful for all the people that have been part of this group in the past and the future. If this is part of my reflection to see you, and you, and you, and you, I'm pretty blessed, and I'm going to sit in that energy and send that upwards, so hopefully we can send that out more and help do our share when we can, to send more love energy.
Yeah, it's a result of your vision. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah.
It's a result of a vision you held about yourself. So nice. A lovely thing. Huh.
Love
Well,
it.
there you go. We have solved all of humanity's
That's
problems.
right. Just
Let's go
during
to
this
the bar.
half an hour. Right. We're out of here. All right, so thank you so much for watching our episode today. If you have any questions, you can email me at info@soulspirational.com, or you can go to our website, soulspirational.com. So until next time, thank you, be well, and namaste.